Today I'm sharing the story of a woman who was diagnosed with fibromyalgia after a period of intense exhaustion, particularly marked by burnout. She was dealing with widespread pain, constant fatigue, dizziness, with the feeling that her entire system had collapsed. After applying the recommendations I gave her, the first improvement came quickly, but they were followed by a major relapse. And this point is essential. The problem was not purely physical. As long as the body's overall functioning, especially the nervous and the emotional systems, is not stabilized, results can hold over time. In this video, you will see what changes when that dimension is finally taken into account. This is Magali's story.
Well, I am truly happy to be able to share my personal journey with you all this evening. So where should I start?
Are you still staying over in Nice?
Yes, I'm in Nice.
Yeah?
I am still here in Nice. And it is actually true that I first contacted Maxime. I believe it was sometime late in the year 2021, if I recall correctly.
Yes, that's right.
And it's absolutely true that my fibromyalgia was first diagnosed during 2021. I was incredibly lucky it was done so quickly, mainly because I had so many different symptoms, ranging from having no energy at all to pain everywhere, skin rashes, constant dizziness, and so on. It was there. It was taking hold of my life more and more. And then, actually, I had also just suffered through a major burnout, a severe burnout I had right at the end of 2020. And I was told, well, it'll get better and so on. And then, in fact, it was getting worse and worse. I would wake up in the morning feeling like I'd been run over by a steamroller. Like a machine had rolled over me all night and my hips hurt. I hurt everywhere, all the time somewhere. And as soon as it got cold, I was in pain. So lots of strange symptoms that I didn't understand. And every time they'd tell me, yes, you're too stressed, miss. Well, and then at one point it clicked, actually. I had like a bit of a eureka moment. I remembered that a few years before I had met someone at the physical therapist's. I already had sciatica problems a few years earlier, and this person told me she was there every morning because she suffered from this disease. I thought to myself, poor thing, that must be horrible. I'd been told a little bit about what it was. And actually, so I go back to that moment when I realized, I said, but wow, it really looks like what that person described to me. And so I contacted that person to have her tell me how she got diagnosed, how she was managing, and so on. I went straight to see the internist, the rheumatologist, and so on. And it's true that I immediately refused to tell myself, no, but I don't want to see myself decline like that, deteriorate, getting worse. In fact, I really rejected that, thinking they don't understand anything about this disease. There, I really saw myself wasting away and I was at rock bottom. At the same time, I had the drive to get myself out of that state. So shortly after, I was looking at videos on YouTube and so on. I was doing research and I came across Maxime. And then I said, okay, bingo. I honestly feel like I had to start this program because I felt it was really going to help me out. And I can confirm that, well, it has been a full year now that I've been doing the program, well, more or less diligently. There were periods that were a bit, I have a bit of a struggle with maintaining consistency. So there were times when at the beginning I did it very seriously. And it's true that from January until April 2022, I really made progress. Those first 4 months, it was incredibly fast and efficient. I very quickly got my sleep back, which wasn't too bad for me yet. It was generally manageable for the most part. And I got a lot of energy back at a very impressive rate. And the pain also started to really decrease. So I said, wow, it's super effective. It works so well. And in April, I kind of let up on the effort. I let the program slide a bit, telling myself, it's fine, that's it. I don't have fibromyalgia anymore. It's great after 4 months. Well, I was definitely brought back to reality,
But it's actually quite beneficial to talk about it because it's a very frequently discussed topic, meaning that as soon as we start to feel better, often what usually happens? We say hop because actually we're very used to conventional medicine. Well, I'm better, it's fine, I can go back to what I was doing. While in fact, for us, when we start to feel better, It's only the beginning, really. You really have to keep going to properly finish what you started. But I think you also have to, well, it's natural actually to let the pressure off. And then what happens? The body, it brings you back to reality. And then what does it do? We get back into it because we know that, well, it's not just in 4 months that it gets settled, you know?
Yes, that's it. But actually it was, well, I felt it quite quickly. So I had a pretty down moment in May, June, where I still had quite a few pain crises that came back. There were moments where I really couldn't stand up anymore. Standing up to cook, doing groceries, everything was complicated. I was in pain from my neck down to my feet, really. There are moments I remember where I was really where I was doing so badly. All that was before the program, when my body was burning from head to toe. I wanted to throw myself out the window so it would all stop. Fortunately, it wasn't all the time, you know, it was during the somewhat strong crises. But it's true that I've never had that again. And then there you go. Well, now
You were also losing power, which means you told me you were draining through your batteries quickly.
Yes, I was draining my batteries very quickly.
You said as soon as you started something afterwards,
That's it. In fact, for every single activity, let's say silly things like hanging the laundry, I had to concentrate deeply, hang my laundry, and then take a long break because I was in a lot of pain. After groceries, after every little act of daily life, it was, well, I had to take a break, you know.
And now, where are you at currently?
Well, I'm doing very, very well, actually. That rhythm of having to rest after every single action, I don't have that at all anymore. I've got my energy back full throttle. There you go.
You started your business?
Yeah. I'm in the process of creating my business. I've completely changed course. In fact, I almost say thank you to fibromyalgia today. To the burnout and the fibromyalgia, because before I was in a job that I didn't like at all. I was an accountant. And actually, I'm an artist at heart. There, I finally ended up
accepting it.
Fully accepting it. So right now, I am starting an exciting new project as a whimsical magical fairy, centered around the realms of storytelling, magic, transformative energy work, and more. And so I create magical adventures to lead people toward who they really are, actually. There, I'm looking forward again. I've found myself, actually.
And now, where would you say you're at then?
Sleep energy, I'm at 100%.
Okay. Sleep energy, 100%.
Yes, exactly. I'm really at my peak. I don't have any slumps at all anymore. As for the pain, I'd say I'm about 90% rid of it.
Very good.
So there, you know, it's...
And where are you with your other symptoms? You had headaches. Where are you with those?
I had headaches, occasional dizziness, and fainting spells.
Irritable bladder, tinnitus, itching.
I don't have them anymore. No, I don't. I urinate normally. Yeah, everything is fine.
Regarding your feelings of anxiety and the stress you are facing, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I see life positively. I'm starting a business, so naturally there are moments where, you know, there's a bit of doubt, questioning.
That's normal.
I mean, it's not what controls me, you know. Now I've taken back the reins, you know, there.
Okay, well, that is great. That was a very wonderful and inspiring testimony. Thank you so much, Magali, for taking the time today to share your journey with us. Well done for all the progress you have made, and we wish you much success in your project. Much success to you.
Thank you very much. And I truly wish every one of you a very smooth and steady path toward total healing. And there,